All right, so this is something I came across that I thought was interesting. Smart contracts, and so basically, it's like an integration between crypto and the stock market. So, yeah, let me kind of go into it a little bit. So, it's there are already tokenized stocks on crypto exchanges now, but there takes some trust there because I don't think they're not actually officially um, they're not officially like recognized or anything. Like you could buy Tesla stock on a crypto exchange, certain ones, and they're not actually officially recognized. So it's not. I wouldn't. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about companies and the stock market exchange, the exchanges fully integrating with crypto technology to tokenize the different stocks. So you can buy it as you can still buy it from a brokerage, but you'd be able to transfer that brokerage firm, excuse me, your stocks and shares from your brokerage to your own wallet or to any service just by transferring it. The transfer process would work the same as like Bitcoin would or Ethereum.
So you tokenize the stock and then trade it however you trade it like a coin or whatever,
Yeah,
cryptocurrency.
right, and you can keep it in your wallet and custodial it yourself. You don't have to actually have it on an exchange at a brokerage firm. And it's kind of reminds me. I mean, back in the day, they used to issue like stock paper, and you had to hold on to that paper to like actually. So I think sometimes they do that with bonds too. If you lost your bonds or whatever, I think it you had to keep a hold of that paper. They put it in like safety deposit boxes. So it's kind of like a
Yeah.
return to that in a way. You could choose to do that. I probably wouldn't do that because I'd be afraid I'd lose it or something. But it's kind of an interesting idea because then I could say, "Hey, Clint, do you want to trade? I'll give you a Tesla share from my wallet or whatever, and you can give me X Bitcoin for it. And we can just trade."
Right.
Like that'd be one
Yeah. That.
interesting thing,
Yeah. That's something we haven't had the ability to do, I guess, since it was physical.
right? And that wasn't a good way to do it, and most people didn't invest in stocks back in the day. It was not. I mean, this is to me going to totally democratize stock investing and also make it even more accessible and more like your stocks are commodities, which I think is a good
Yeah.
thing. And this is already kind of getting implemented to a degree. In the Cash App, you could buy stocks on Cash App and Bitcoin. You could buy on there. So if you had a Cash App, I could send you Nike stock. I could send you Tesla stock. I could just send it to you.
Currently.
Yeah, currently.
So how does that work?
Say I own Tesla stock on the Cash App. I don't, but say I did, and you had the Cash App, I could instead of paying you $100 or $1,000, I could just send you a Tesla stock.
Oh, so I've never used Cash App, so I'm assuming in Cash App you can buy stocks.
You can buy stocks and you can only buy Bitcoin, but you can buy Bitcoin as well.
I see. Okay.
You can't do options and stuff like that, so it's a kind of a limited app. But you could buy a stock and send it to somebody, which is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah, so if you didn't have the cash or something like that, and but you had some stock in something, and somebody was willing to accept that, that's kind of an interesting thing. But this is an extension of that. It wouldn't be custodial like that. It would be. I think you could actually self custody, be have your own wallet actually, and you could. I guess you could lose it theoretically if you did it that way. Although
Yeah.
I think the wallet technology is getting better, and it has to have a better user experience because the fact that people lose their shit all the time is not good, and that has to improve.
I have a question. What if you have a stock in your wallet or whatever and you lose it? What
Yeah.
happens to that stock?
Well, that would just help the price of the stock. If
So it
it,
would just it would basically forever be sold, right?
It would forever be gone. It would just supply the stock would go down. Now it wouldn't be technically recognized. Like Bitcoin, there'll always be 21 million Bitcoin, but we've talked about this before. There's actually only going to be about 14 or 15 million Bitcoin because you lost a Bitcoin. Lots of people have lost it.
Yeah.
It'd be the same thing.
Okay.
It would just help the price of the stock because there'd be less supply on the market and all that.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Also, the wallet technology would also greatly help with leaving assets to family members. Because now we had our great aunt pass away, and I was a pain in the butt trying to get the money out of there. So imagine if it was all just on this digital wallet, everything's there, and it's all. And even with smart contract technology, you could even have it written in to execute this code to split it appropriately to the right wallets. I'm just saying, in theory, you could do that.
Yeah, I love the smart contract, idea and implementation of it. I think that is the future, a smart contract.
That's Ethereum. That's what it's all about, and
Yeah.
Solana is too. But yeah, I think that stuff's even the technology side to that stuff is cooler. Bitcoin is just a payment system, and it benefits from being the first one, but it's also very important as well. But yeah, I think the smart contract side is definitely it's like the most exciting thing, like the possibilities of it.
Yeah.
The only problem is if the government gets in the way to how cool. I mean, you could do it for literally anything, but
I mean, the government would use it. Like, they definitely would.
ideally,
Yeah.
or they're going to want
I
to
would
make
hope.
it. They're going to want to make it an old process and not willing to change anything.
That's true. Yeah. It would be slow. They would be slow to adopt it. I know.
They
But
should
I think,
honestly like paying taxes should be built on Ethereum somehow.
yeah. I mean, like, I think in the future, like that will be the case. Like the government, everyone would just have a smart contract with the government, and your taxes would be taken out like automatically.
I mean, that would be ideal. Stuff like that could happen, but there's also a lot of companies like H&R Block, all these companies actively lobby the government to keep taxes convoluted, just so they can make money from tax stuff.
You said like H&R Block and people like that.
Yeah, you know the companies that do taxes,
Yeah, the tax places. Yeah.
they want to keep it complicated.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's their business. So
It's just I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know how far it can literally do anything, and it basically allows you to put software and code to economic value of some sort, and also not just that, anything really, because we've already said it's a way to organize people. It's a way to do the DAOs, the decentralized autonomous organizations. They can literally do anything that you could think of, but it's just a
it's
matter
just
of
it's a digital contract that has like executable code essentially.
and if it's executable on economic stuff, it means a lot. Ownership of a company, ownership of Bitcoin, ownership of these different things. So yeah, and that's why NFTs right now in its current form are like the idea of it's actually really cool because an NFT could represent a deed of a house. NFT could represent a ticket to go see a concert or something. It's just right now I think the technology is let's make it a JPEG. 'Cause that's the only thing we can really do right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, smart contracts are really cool because you can think of like so many different use cases. So, anyways,
Yeah.
this would tokenize everything about the stock and could even be put in, like I said, self custodied. Yeah, I already did that. Oh yeah, here's another idea I heard on the interview I watched, which was with Anthony Pompanello. It's a proof of ownership in a company, and like you could how credit cards and stuff are already being put on phones, basically. There's already
Yeah.
these like I think Apple Wallet will probably integrate with crypto soon, and they will do like all this stuff that I'm talking about, how to make the user experience much better. People don't lose all their shit. They're gonna make it a lot better.
Yeah.
I have very confident that they're gonna do that. I think the Cash App will too, and Venmo and all of them will. But anyways, that's a side
I mean,
point.
Apple has a history of revolutionizing things, so
I think they'll have a big part of it personally. There's
yeah.
also a lot of speculation that they're going to have Bitcoin and the Lightning Network and all that. So that'd be good. Um, anyways, so like if you owned some shares of Nike, maybe Nike is cool and says you get 2% off when you shop at Nike because you have ownership of the company, and that would be easily readable from your wallet and executable when you go on an online website and use your wallet to pay for it.
Yeah, I think that's a cool idea.
Or even if you went to a Nike store, you could just put pew, you know. And also, you could sell. What was I gonna say? No, I think it would work for like Walmart too. That's just an idea. Like it's not. It's kind of a rudimentary idea, but it's interesting what you could build on top of the tokenized stocks because it's just code at that point.
Right.
So you could do a lot of
It,
things.
yeah, I mean, it's limitless.
So that's kind of just a neat idea. This was another cool thing that they mentioned. So instead of getting your dividends paid quarterly, they could just stream it to you always, constantly streaming the pennies to you. Like
Yeah.
it, you see what I'm saying? Like it's just constant money increasing, and you could tell it to just automatically go back into your Nike stock or whatever you're talking about, or you could tell it to just go straight into USD, the US dollar, tokenized dollar, or it might be a central bank digital currency if they create that, or you could tell it to put it into Bitcoin automatically or something like that. You could probably
Yeah.
tell it to do any kind of asset.
Yeah, I think that's a cool idea.
Right, and that's already kind of, I mean, there's all these, I don't know if you've heard of BlockFi, but they're doing some exciting stuff with financial services around crypto. Like you can get a loan on top of your Bitcoin. Like say you own one Bitcoin, you can get like a $30,000 loan on that at 3% interest or something. If you needed a short-term loan to pay for something, and they're doing it for businesses and individuals as well. And you can also get a credit card with them, and they'll automatically pay you 1.5% whatever purchase you have in Bitcoin with your credit card. So
Wait,
there's,
so
sorry, go ahead.
you can they'll give you 30 grand and
Like, if
you
you
buy
own,
a Bitcoin?
no, if you own a Bitcoin, you can use that as collateral and get a $30,000 loan on the Bitcoin.
See.
If you don't pay it back, they take your Bitcoin.
I see. Okay.
That's the collateral. So they're already offering those services. I think they even let you do it with Ethereum and all sorts of different cryptos because they're looking at it as a digital asset that you can get a loan on, just like you would a car or a house. And I think
Right.
this would also, like, I really hope they tokenize the stock stuff too, because then it would work the same way. Because right now, whenever you get a loan, they do look at your stock accounts, but it's sort of like weird and not really. It's not looked at quite the same. If you could actually literally say, I want to put up, 1,000 shares of Nike for X money, it's much more in stone what you're putting up as
Yeah.
collateral.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if you could do that now. But I just think it's kind of cool if they do the stocks too. You could use it as well as the crypto. The crypto is just more obvious because it's already natively built in that way.
It also makes things like more liquid, I guess. Like
Oh yeah,
you don't really have to sell it. Now you can just trade your stocks.
right. Yeah, yeah. If you need money and you don't want to sell your stocks, like what we've done, like when I put a down payment on my house, I had to sell some stocks. I wouldn't necessarily have to do
Right.
that. I could get a little loan on the stocks on the side. I can understand you might want to sell it. You don't want to have to worry about paying a percentage. However, you have to pay taxes on those stocks when they go up, so you might be paying the 4% anyways.
And there would definitely be situations where it would make sense.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a very cool idea, and they're doing this, like I said, with crypto. It's called BlockFi. It's supposedly growing rapidly, but I think there'll be a lot of financial service companies like that take advantage of all this stuff, and it won't just be crypto. It'll be stuff like whenever this ever happens with stocks, it'll be even bigger than that. I think because right now, basically, if you want to take loans out and stuff, you have to do it within your brokerage account, like take margin out and stuff like that. It's not as easy as saying I want to take my stock from this thing, put it on into my wallet, and then offer it up to some other random, you know, financial firm and say I want a
Yeah.
10,000. You can't do anything like that now. So it's kind of neat. I think it's good for people who don't own a ton of assets because the people who are rich can already do this kind of stuff because they have, you know, the name and they can do pretty much anything they want to do. This just, I think it just opens the doors up to allow people to be more financially literate and do more interesting things than you can do now.
Yeah, it gives a lot more freedom to you can basically do whatever you want to do.
Right. I mean, I think so too. I mean, I hope they don't start giving out crypto loans based off of your NFTs though. That'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah.